Are you tired of nightly homework battles that leave everyone stressed and frustrated? I'm Tim.
And I'm Edna. And believe me, we get it. It's like pulling teeth sometimes, isn't it? We've seen it all at our daycare and with our coaching clients.
Exactly. So welcome to the Rising Parent Podcast, where we help families thrive. And today we are tackling a topic that I know is near and dear to many of our listeners' hearts. Homework sanity saved.
Yes. Or, as we're officially calling it, ending homework battles, executive function skills for elementary success. Because it's not just about getting the homework done, it's about equipping our kids with the skills they need to succeed long term.
Absolutely. We're going to dive deep into why homework time can be so challenging and how focusing on executive function skills can be the game changer you've been looking for. We're talking organization, time management, and tackling that oh-so-common child refuses to do homework scenario.
Think of it as teaching your kids how to learn, not just what to learn. That is a game changer for everyone in the home. Trust me on that one. Let's get started.
So, Edna, let's start with the basics. What exactly are executive function skills? It sounds kind of corporate.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, so think of executive function skills as the brain's air traffic control system. They're the skills that help us plan, organize, prioritize, manage our time, and regulate our emotions. Basically, everything you need to succeed in school and in life.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just about being smart, it's about being able to use your intelligence effectively.
Exactly. And that's where a lot of kids struggle, especially in elementary school. We had a family come to us a while back. Let's call them the Millers. Their third grader would just completely shut down at homework time. Meltdowns, arguments. It was a nightly disaster.
Oh, the Millers. Yes, I remember that. What was going on there?
The mom was convinced her son was just being stubborn, but when we dug a little deeper, we realized he was struggling with planning and prioritizing. He didn't know where to start, so he just avoided the whole thing.
Right. So instead of focusing on whether he completed the homework, you helped him develop the skills to approach it.
Precisely. We worked with the Millers to break down his assignments into smaller, more manageable chunks. They started using a visual timer to help him stay focused, and they even created a designated homework zone in their house, free of distractions.
A homework zone. I like that. Distraction-free is really the only way to go.
Well, think about it. He was trying to do it at the kitchen table with his little sister making finger paint masterpieces.
Yeah, that's not exactly conducive to concentration.
Nope. And you know what? It made a huge difference. He still wasn't thrilled about homework, but the meltdown stopped. He was actually able to get his work done and feel a sense of accomplishment.
That's fantastic. So, what are some other executive function skills that are particularly important for elementary-aged kids?
Well, impulse control is a big one. Think about the kid who blurts out the answer in class without raising their hand, or who can't resist playing with a toy when they're supposed to be doing their math problems.
I can totally see that. That's got to be frustrating for the teacher and the child.
Absolutely. And then there's working memory, the ability to hold information in your mind and use it, like remembering instructions or following a multi-step problem.
So, if a child struggles with working memory, they might have trouble remembering what the teacher said to do, even if they were listening.
Exactly. And that can lead to frustration and a feeling of overwhelmed. Another crucial skill is task initiation. That's the ability to actually start a task, even when it's not something you're super excited about.
That sounds like a skill I could use myself sometimes.
You and me both. Procrastination is a real thing, Tim. But seriously, for kids, this can be a huge hurdle. They might sit down at their desk, but then get distracted by anything and everything, sharpening their pencil, rearranging their crayons, you name it.
Right, anything to avoid actually starting the work. So, how do we, as parents, help our kids develop these executive function skills? It sounds like a lot.
It can feel overwhelming, but the good news is that these skills can be learned and improved. It just takes patience, consistency, and a focus on the process rather than just the outcome.
Patience and consistency, the hallmarks of good parenting, right?
You got it. Now, one simple thing you can do is to create routines and structure. Kids thrive on predictability. Having a set homework time and a designated homework space can make a huge difference.
So, like the Miller's homework zone?
Exactly. And also consider creating a visual schedule. We helped one family set one up for their son who was in second grade. He was constantly getting distracted during homework time.
What was the visual schedule like?
It was simple, just pictures showing the different steps involved in completing his homework. Get out your materials, read the instructions, do the first problem, take a break, and so on. It helped their son stay on track and manage his time more effectively.
That's clever. Making it visual, especially for younger kids, is key. What about older elementary school students, like 4th or 5th graders?
With older kids, you can start to involve them more in the planning process. Help them create a to-do list for the week and break down larger assignments into smaller tasks. Teach them how to use a planner or a digital calendar.
So, empowering them to take ownership of their own learning.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to teach them strategies for dealing with distractions. Encourage them to put their phone away, turn off the TV, and find a quiet place to work.
Easier said than done sometimes, right? Especially with phones.
Tell me about it. But it's important to set boundaries and expectations. And remember, modeling is key. If you're constantly checking your phone while you're helping your child with their homework, you're not setting a good example.
Point taken. What about motivation? A lot of kids just don't want to do homework. How do we address that?
That's a big one. Intrinsic motivation is ideal, but sometimes you need to provide some external rewards. But it's important to focus on effort and progress rather than just grades.
So praise them for their hard work even if they don't get a perfect score?
Exactly. Celebrate their effort and their strategies, and try to make homework time as enjoyable as possible. Incorporate games, movement, or even just a fun snack.
Okay, so homework doesn't have to be a miserable experience for everyone involved. That's good to know.
It shouldn't be. The goal is to create a positive learning environment where kids feel supported and empowered. Another family I worked with had a son that was having a really hard time with reading. He hated it. They turned it into a special reading date every day with blankets, flashlights, and hot cocoa. Now he looks forward to it.
What a great idea. Creating positive associations is so important. What about when a child is really struggling and refuses to do homework altogether?
That's when you need to dig a little deeper. Is the work too difficult? Are they feeling overwhelmed or anxious? Are there underlying learning disabilities that need to be addressed?
So it's not always just about laziness or defiance.
Not at all. Sometimes there's a legitimate reason why a child is refusing to do their homework, and it's our job as parents to figure out what that reason is and provide the support they need.
Makes total sense. What strategies can parents use in the moment when a child refuses to do their homework? What can they actually say or do?
Avoid getting into a power struggle. That never ends well. Instead, try to stay calm and empathetic. Acknowledge their feelings and validate their frustration.
So instead of saying, just do your homework, you might say something like, I know this is hard, but we can work through it together.
Exactly. And then offer to help them break down the assignment into smaller steps, or just sit with them while they work. Sometimes all they need is a little support and encouragement.
Okay, that's helpful. Any other tips for dealing with homework refusal?
Set clear expectations and consequences. Let your child know that homework is non-negotiable, but also be willing to compromise and offer choices. For example, you might say, you need to finish your math problems before you can play video games, but you can choose to do them now or after dinner.
Giving them a little bit of control can go a long way.
Absolutely. And remember, it's okay to reach out for help. If your child is consistently struggling with homework, talk to their teacher or school counselor. They may be able to provide additional support or identify underlying learning challenges.
Great advice. So, to recap, we've talked about executive function skills, routines, motivation, and dealing with homework refusal. It's a lot to take in, but it's all about equipping our kids with the skills they need to succeed, not just in school, but in life.
Absolutely. And remember, progress, not perfection. Celebrate the small victories and focus on the journey, not just the destination.
Okay, Edna, let's boil this down to a few key takeaways for our listeners. What are the most important things parents should remember?
First, remember that homework battles are often a symptom of underlying executive function challenges. Focus on teaching your child how to learn, not just what to learn.
Right. Executive function skills are the brain's air traffic control system. Help your child develop these skills by creating routines, using visual schedules, and breaking down assignments into smaller tasks.
Second, motivation is key. Find ways to make homework time more enjoyable, focus on effort and progress, and provide positive reinforcement.
And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to your child's teacher or school counselor if you're struggling to manage homework challenges on your own.
And remember, you are not alone in this. We've seen it all, and so have so many other parents.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Edna, thank you for sharing your wisdom and insights.
My pleasure, Tim. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We hope you found this episode helpful.
We really do. And now for our call to action. If you enjoyed this episode of the Rising Parent Podcast, please subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and visit our website at risingparent.org for additional resources.
Yes, your reviews help us reach even more parents who are looking for guidance and support. So please take a moment to share your thoughts.
And hey, we want to make this podcast as valuable as possible for you. So if there's a particular topic you'd like us to cover, please let us know. You can send us a message through our website, and we'll do our best to create an episode just for you.
Seriously, we want to hear from you. So go ahead and submit that episode request, and we'll get to work.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. And remember, you're doing a great job.
Keep rising.
Bye for now.